Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent reads video. The first book on this list is called This Is Not a Dead Girl Story. This story is a YA thriller following a young main character who's determined to find her cousin, who is missing, and everyone else assumes that she's dead, which is what usually happens with missing person cases, but this is a story and not really real life. So anyway, the point is, she is convinced that her cousin is alive, whereas everyone else is assumed that she is dead, if that makes sense. Basically, honestly, I didn't really like this book as much as I was really expecting to, just because I think for me, and I know that expectation is the enemy of joy, so like it's my fault or whatever, but like I was expecting this book to remind me of Not Like Other Girls, which was this really good YA thriller that I read a few months ago, and it was so good, but this book was simply not as good. I was interested in the mystery and the characters and stuff like that, but to be quite honest, like I read this book a week ago and I couldn't tell you who did it. I couldn't tell you the names of any of these characters or anything like that. But I do remember like the plot was intriguing. And I think the problem with like having a book with like a white assumed straight cast is that like there's little to no like nuance or intersectionality, and the book becomes very mid over time, very quickly, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does or not, but basically I rated this book 3 stars, so take that as you will. The next book on this list is called Deep in Providence. This story is a YA urban fantasy following 3 best friends who want to bring their recently deceased best friend back to life through magic. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. First of all, it's so magical and I loved the world building so much. Second of all, I loved the 3 character perspectives so much because they were each such individual, well-developed characters. Like I loved their dynamic together as well as individually. And I loved all of the like different POC culture and the queerness and like everything. This book is so good. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing and so riveting. Like I love this book so much. I'm so glad that I gave it a second chance because when this book came out in 2021, I believe I DNF'd it because I have a habit of like mixing up books with similar covers or similar vibes or similar concepts or stuff like that. So I mixed this book up with The Witchery, which I also like DNF'd multiple times afterwards. And I don't think I'm ever giving that book a second chance ever again. But anyway, this book was so good. The friendship trio reminded me of like the friendship from This Is What It Feels Like, which is such a high compliment. But anyway, this book is excellent and it's so good. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it because I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars and I really liked it. The next book on this list is called Don't Let the Forest In. This story is a YA horror academia like urban fantasy contemporary. I don't know how to describe it, but basically it's set in modern day and it has horror elements to it. So basically, it follows a young, gay, asexual main character who's instructed not to go into the forest right before he attends a boarding school, but then he goes into the forest because he's following his best friend, and then some things start to happen. But like, not great things. That doesn't really make any sense, I just feel like. But anyway, this book is so good. First of all, like, this book kind of gave me a similar vibe to, like, Icarus in terms of, like, the gayness and the romance. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, because, like, other people might say that those 2 books are so completely different, and I completely understand that perspective, too. But, like, basically, this book is so good. The world building is excellent, and it makes so much sense. And I was literally on the edge of my seat every single step of the way. The queerness is so good. I loved, like, his friendships. The romance is so cute. His relationship with his sister was so well done. The plot is so engaging. I was so intrigued from the beginning to the end. This book is so excellent, and it deserves all of its hype and so much more. So anyway, with that said, I don't know if any of this made any sense, but I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Hollow and the Haunted. This story is a YA urban fantasy following a young gay main character who foresees the death of someone and has to work with him, or rather he chooses to work with him to try to stop that from happening. I enjoy this book for sure, and I rated it 4 stars because, like, the mystery was interesting and I enjoyed the magic and the world building, and the romance is so cute and it's so adorable, and it's definitely my favorite part of this book, which was kind of annoying, honestly, because when I'm reading like a fantasy book, I want the magic and the world building and the characters to be more interesting than like the romance and the friendships and stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but basically in my list of the 4-star books on this list, this book is definitely my least favorite, if that makes any sense. I will be reading the sequel though, assuming that there is one, considering this ending. Like, I was not expecting this book to have a sequel at all. Like, I was genuinely expecting it to be a standalone for some reason. But, like, anyway, overall, I rated this book 4 stars. I will be continuing the series. I do highly recommend it. So, there's that. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Kate in Waiting. This story is a YA contemporary following a young main character who has the same crush on the guy that her best friend also likes. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so excellent. And I really, really enjoyed it. First of all, Becky has done such a great job, historically, with crafting such good characters that feel so relatable and so real and just so awesome. I love Kate and Anderson and all of their friends, and the romances are so cute. I love her relationship with her brother and her best friend and everyone. The writing is so digestible and it's so easy to read. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. Like, this book is so good. I just really, really enjoyed it. It's so fluffy and wholesome and bright and lighthearted, and it was exactly what I needed because I read this book right after I got the election results. So naturally I wanted like a more lighthearted, happy, fluffy, like type of read. But basically this book was so good and I just really, really enjoyed it so much. And like, Becky is so talented. I can't believe there was ever a time in my life when I thought that she was mid. You know what I mean? But on a more serious note, I think that this book and Imogen obviously are so much better than anything that she's ever read before. But anyway, overall, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. I loved the theater elements. Like, this book is so good. Anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. So, in conclusion, this is my first recent reads video in November, where I'm recapping books that I actually read in November, since historically, I tend to pre-film my videos a week or 2 ahead of time, if that makes any sense. So I can't quite complain yet about my reading month, since November literally just started, like it's only the 8th. You know what I mean? But like, anyway, things are going well so far reading-wise. So without any further ado, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the watermelon emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!